The Gambia Resilience of Organizations for Transformative Smallholder Agriculture Project (ROADS) has received the sum of $265,725 from the International Fund for Agricultural Development to implement a special COVID-19 relief program called the Rural Poor Stimulus Facility. This facility helps to maintain or improve the resilience of targeted vulnerable rural farmers and small and medium-sized enterprises along rice and horticulture value chains. The objectives of the program are to support the Gambia in responding to COVID-19 crisis by mitigating its negative effects on the agriculture sector and safeguard rural livelihoods, food security, and domestic food system. The support covered the entire country. The support consists of 25 tons of fertilizer, 2 tons of certified rice seeds, 400 kg of certified vegetable seeds, 2,000 face masks, with sanitizing materials, cash transfers, among others.
Honorable Governor, just to say a few words about why we are here today and how we got here, actually. We are here actually to distribute what we are calling RPSF, a Rural Poor Stimulus Facility. So this Rural Poor Stimulus Facility is funded by IFAD, the International Fund for Agricultural Development. And IFAD is also the main donor for the Roots project. So because of that, it was decided that the Rural Poor Stimulus Facility would be implemented through the Roots project, rather than setting up parallel structures with the costs that are involved. So that is the arrangement. But how did we get the Rural Poor Stimulus Facility? It was thanks to the efforts of the government of the Gambia, the Ministry of Agriculture in particular, who saw a gap in the relief support that is being provided to this country. They saw that nothing was targeted specifically for farmers. So they approached IFAD to see what can be done for the farmers. And IFAD responded with this Rural Poor Stimulus Facility, specifically for farmers. And when we say farmers, it is not just vegetable growers. It is also rice growers. It is also poultry producers. It is also small ruminant producers. But it is also agricultural entrepreneurs, that is the SMEs. So all of them are part of this stimulus package, and all of them are set to receive support. So, like I said, we have all these farmers. In total, the target is 1,000 households, estimated at around 9,000 people around the country. So this is the total target population for the Rural Poor Stimulus Facilities. In addition to the farmers that I have mentioned, you also have the very poor rural households that will receive support directly. So what kind of support is the RPSF providing? It depends on the category. Vegetable farmers will receive seed, as has been said. Rice growers will receive seed, but will also receive fertilizer, as well as support for land preparation, the plowing services. The poultry producers, they will receive feed for their poultry. They will also receive mineral licks, but also vaccination. The small ruminants, they will also receive mineral supplements, but they will also receive vaccines. Who else? The agricultural entrepreneurs, they will receive cash support. They will receive cash support, but they will also receive training to expose them to ways of selling, promoting their businesses online, This is a direct response to the COVID. As during the COVID, markets were closed and places were closed and lumos were closed. So it was seen fit that they have to be able to sell their products online even if these markets are all closed. So they will also receive training and support to market their products online. They will also receive cash transfers. Another thing that vegetable gardens will receive is to support them to transport their products to the market. So they will receive a cash supplement to help them pay for the logistics of getting their produce to the market. So basically, this is what the Rural Poor Stimulus Facility will provide. But how did we arrive at choosing the beneficiaries? I think that's a very important question. As my sister said, Ramata, not every vegetable garden is receiving support. So how did we decide who will get support? So firstly, we work with the National Disaster Management Agency. So they helped us to identify the most vulnerable areas. That was the first step. The second step was also, having identified the vulnerable areas, is the selection of the gardens. We work with the Department of Horticultural Services, the director herself, to guide us as to which gardens should receive priority. But we also work with the regional agricultural directors in each region, and they helped us make the selection as to which gardens should benefit. What exactly is given to the garden, the type of seed and all that, it was determined in consultation with the Department of Horticultural Services. We even receive advice from the Honorable Minister herself. As you know, her background is horticulture. She very much knows about the gardens in this country. So that is how the seeds that you are going to receive today, that is how they were identified, and that is how they were actually given. For the livestock people, it's the same approach. We are working with the Department of Livestock Services to identify the beneficiaries, but also to administer the vaccines. So in short, this is what the Rural Poor Stimulus Facility is about. As Madam Jigo also said, this is the first phase, but inshallah, there will be a second phase, actually, so we can also reach more beneficiaries. I think with that, I can stop here, but also thank the governor once again for receiving us, but also for constantly supporting the initiatives of the government, but also the Roots Project. You will recall that 3 months ago, the Roots Project was launched here under the auspices of the governor himself. And since then, we receive constant support and guidance, and definitely our regional coordinator gets all the support, benefit, and guidance from him. So we are very grateful, Honorable Governor. I want to just close once again by thanking you, the farmers, the beneficiaries, for coming all the way. This is the start of the rainy season, so time is very critical. So thank you once again. Assalamu alaikum.
Mrs. Elizabeth Mendy, Roots Regional Coordinator for Lower River Region, states that they are today witnessing the distribution of garden materials and sanitizers to beneficiaries. She discloses that the assistance is from the program called Rural Poor Stimulus Facility under the Roots Project, and it is designed to empower farmers in horticulture, rice and poultry value chain.
This COVID response package, which is under the Rural Poor Stimulus Facility, has an objective to mitigate the impacts of COVID-19 to the agricultural sector, and also to improve food security, especially to the rural food systems. And with that objective, we know that COVID has a very drastic impact on the livelihood of the Gambians, especially rural farmers. And as such, with this package, it is here geared to support the farmers, because when we looked at the impact of COVID, there has been market lockdown, lumos were closed, the country went into a total shutdown, and even borders were closed. And we know that sometimes most of our inputs or the poultry feed or birds are coming from our neighboring country. And with those impacts and this support now, we will know that at least the needs of the farmers, the plights of the farmers at rural level would be met. And they, from the ceremony, they have mentioned and shown their gratitude. And we see that it will go a long way in supporting and improving the livelihood of farmers. I know it has been much of a concern, but we should know that the scope of the project is to support 9,000 farmers. And with that, we are looking at a household average of 9 persons per household. And with that target, we cannot meet the entire farmers, but we will look at farmers that are very vulnerable, because that was a major criteria in the selection of these farmers, looking at their needs and how best we could support in mitigating the impacts of COVID-19 to these smallholder farmers. And as such, we know that there was a relief package that was given to farmers last year. And in order not to have that duplicative figure, we decided to look at farmers that benefited last year wouldn't be fit to benefit from this relief package for this year. And as such, vulnerability and access to last year's support were majorly the criteria of this support, majorly to farmers, both those that are into vegetable production, livestock, small and medium enterprises, and vulnerable households. So that were mainly the criteria that were given in terms of the selection. And for this region, 7 gardens were targeted, and the selection was done through the support of the Regional Agricultural Directorate that was able to highlight gardens that are very committed, willing, and are in the need of this support.
Mrs. Ramada Gigo, Acting Director for the Horticulture Technical Services of the Department of Agriculture, remarks that nothing is more pleasing than distributing vegetable seeds to farmers at the onset of the rainy season, saying that access to good vegetable seeds has always been a challenge for farmers. Mrs. Gigo appeals to farmers to plant on time and avoid late planting. She states that the assistance is meant to help them recover what they have lost due to COVID-19 pandemic. She also urges vegetable growers to be in touch with extension agents in their various gardens so as they can help in identifying the seeds that can be grown in this rainy season. She said this will help them to start their nursery immediately before they experience heavy rains, which can wash away their seeds easily, as most vegetable seeds are tiny and do not require deep sowing. She advises them to put up joint nurseries quickly and avoid individual backyard nurseries, as this will help to provide uniformity in their plants and can prevent disease outbreak in their community gardens. She acknowledges that the seeds are superior and they will yield well. The Regional Agriculture Director for Lower River Region, Mr. Lamin Dabo, thanks Roots Project Director, Mr. Mahmoud Jan, for his open door policy and giving them the task for identifying the women gardens to receive this RPSF support. He assured the project director that all the gardens identified for the RPSF support are all committed and have been working very hard in their various gardens in both the dry and rainy season. He also said that they are farmers who always seek advice and also adhere to the production advice given to them by the extension agents, so he is sure they will make good use of these inputs they receive. Mr. Dabo urges beneficiaries to put the materials given to them in good use so as they can recover the losses they faced during the pandemic. Mr. Madu Kamara, the Regional Livestock Director for Lower River Region, thanked the Root Project and IFAD for coming with this gesture, as poultry farmers in his region have suffered a lot due to COVID-19. According to Kamara, during the pandemic, lots of poultry farmers find it hard to sell their chickens when they reach their market stage when the country was in lockdown. So they were forced to give more feeds to birds, which in turn increases their production cost. He also acknowledges that the assistance came at the right time as they are taking preventive measures since the outbreak of the avian influenza in Senegal. He assures people that the Lower River region will soon stop importing poultry meat. Mr. Lamin Cecil, Principal Health Officer for Lower River Region, speaks on the dangers of COVID-19 and where it originated from. He notes that the support that is being given is to reduce the losses and sufferings they encountered as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, though it cannot completely address their problems but will help alleviate them. According to him, COVID is a dangerous virus that is capable of changing its forms against vaccines like the case of UK, Brazil, South Africa and Indian variant. Mr. Sisi urges the farmers to be wearing masks and frequently wash hands and use sanitizers. In his speech, he urges the farmers to wear masks as it's very important in preventing the entry of dust and pathogens into their body as they work with the soil, manure and plants. Mr. Sisi reminds the farmers on the important role they play in the development of any nation, as no work can be done without having your stomach full, so they can see themselves as frontliners in the fight against COVID-19. He said eating healthy helps in providing good immune system for anyone, and this can only be achieved if farmers are at the work. In his closing remark, he encourages the farmers to take the COVID vaccine as this is the most important way in preventing yourself in the fight against the virus.
It gives me the greatest honor to preside over this auspicious occasion, and I wish to welcome you all to North Bank region. We are gathered here today to witness another achievement in the Ministry of Agriculture through Roots project, which is the distribution of inputs, which are vegetable seeds, small ruminants, poultry feed, and vaccines to farmers, as well as support to small, medium enterprises and vulnerable households. This grant of the Rural Poor Stimulus Facility under the Roots project is meant to support vulnerable farmers in mitigating the effects of COVID-19. The overall objectives of the grant is to support the country in responding to the COVID-19 crisis by mitigating the effects on the agricultural sector, particularly on the 2020 farming season and harvest, and to safeguard rural livelihoods, food security, and domestic food systems. As we are aware, since March 2019, the world is in crisis due to the COVID-19 pandemic that has several impacts to Gambians, especially the rural population who depend a lot on remittance from diaspora. In the Gambia, aside the casualties recorded, the effects varies from lockdown, hike in market prices of basic commodities, market closures, travel restrictions, among others. Without these daily activities, many people become vulnerable to a lot of nutritional and financial problems with long-standing challenges to the Gambians' food security. Given the adverse effects of the COVID-19 impact on local economy, which led to a food security crisis, and trying to mitigate the impact of the 2021 rainy season and the poor, the Ministry of Agriculture has constituted a task force in line with the country's emergency preparedness and prevention strategy to better manage the pandemic. The grant will target and protect livelihoods of the population in crisis, mainly women and youths. 9,000 people, approximately 1,500 households, and those in the distressed situation are 4,500, and 50% women, and 2,250 corresponding to 25% of youths. This emergency response will be integrated with resilience-building intervention to foster a quick restoration and foster the return to normality. The support would be in the form of kind, that's agricultural inputs, that is seeds, fertilizers, veterinary drugs, and cash assistance. This support is meant to enable farmers and SMEs to continue their production and leverage the use of digital platforms to sell their products. This support is complementing the efforts of the government and other partners who have provided relief packages to the population, more especially the rural population. Just as previously done, we encourage you to make good use of this support to safeguard your livelihoods. I wish to thank the Ministry of Agriculture through the Roots Project for the support to our farmers, especially women and youths, to continue their production amidst the pandemic. As the rain season has started, I wish you all a successful rainy season and a bumper harvest in your different engagements. On that note, I thank you all for your kind attention.
Mrs. Binta Sise of Biba Village gives the vote of thanks on behalf of farmers. She says they are happy because the assistance will develop them, saying that today a tin of onion seed costs $2,900. Someone giving you 2 to 3 tins free of charge really makes us happy, she says. She outlines that they suffered a lot due to COVID-19 as it prevents marketing, resulting in poor harvest losses. Binta thanks donors and promises to make the best use of the support.